Good afternoon. This is Rick Richards, advice from Mr. Rick. And my friend Garret is asked me 6 questions. He emailed me texted me 6 questions that he wanted me to answer for his business class or leadership class that he's taken in college. And so I wanted to answer those 6 questions and put them on video so it'll be easy for him to look at and do his report on. But the first question that was asked is, what are the most important qualities an effective leader should have? In my opinion, a leader definitely should be teachable. Charlie Tremendous Jones said, I'm sure other people have heard this before, but you are going to be the exact same person 5 years from now, other than the books you read and the people you meet. And when you read books and you get yourself out of your comfort zone and meet new people and go to events or seminars or expose yourself to different teachings, what you're doing is you're growing yourself. You're getting yourself out of your comfort zone and you're starting to grow. So definitely a leader needs to be teachable. John Maxwell, one of the greatest leadership teachers of all time, he has a book called 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. And in that book, one of the laws is called the law of the lid. And a leader, whatever you're leading, whether it be your own personal household or a sports team or your family or a business, anything that you're leading, if you are the leader, you are the lid on that business. Let's say this is your business and you're the leader. Your business is trying to grow, but it won't grow until you as a leader grows. So as you grow, the business can grow, or whatever you're leading. So in order for you to be an effective leader, you have to be willing to grow and change yourself. That's the fastest way to success, is to actually grow yourself first, and then everything underneath you, everything that you're leading is going to not be hindered by you. Instead, it's all going to be freed up so everything underneath you can start to grow and flourish as well. So be teachable. Now, number one, it was teachable. Two is to be humble. Your ego is the enemy of success. So in order to be truly successful, you have to be humble and you have to be willing to admit that you are wrong and that you make mistakes, and that you are willing to admit when you mess up to your team or your colleagues or whomever you're dealing with. Another high quality of an effective leader is to have a high, off the charts levels of integrity. The Forbes 400 list did a survey on the top 400 wealthiest people in the United States and North America. And they did the survey and they found out that the number one quality in 80% of the Forbes 400 wealthiest people in North America said that integrity, high levels of integrity, are what has helped them become truly successful financially. Another quality would be being a great communicator, not only communicating clearly what ideas and visions and dreams you have as a leader, but also listening to feedback and communicating back and forth with your team. So far we've talked about being teachable, being humble, having high levels of integrity, being a great communicator. And then this other trait is something I've been working on, and it's not so easy to do for me sometimes, but to be calm and to be kind. Calm and kind. My natural reaction is to be upset, to be strong, and to be mean. And so one of the qualities of a good leader is to be calm and kind with people. The next question Garret asked me is, what is the importance of trust in leadership? What is the importance of trust in leadership? People love to do business with people that they know, they like, and they trust. When trust is lost in a relationship, then that relationship has been damaged. And it's very hard to regain trust once it's lost. Trust is a huge factor in dealing with relationships with people, whether it be a client or team members or coworkers. need to have, again, high level of integrity, like we talked about already, but also you need to have trust, you need to build trust and keep trust. Do everything you can to grab on and hang on to trust, because when people trust you, they want to do business with you. They want to relate to you. They want to have a relationship with you. And that's how business is conducted. And that's how leadership happens, is when you create an environment that someone trusts you. One of the reasons early on that Amazon was successful is because they built trust with their customers. A lot of people, when the internet first started out, people started ordering online. A lot of people were afraid of doing business, afraid if they bought something, they wouldn't be able to return something if it didn't turn out. And what happened with Amazon is they made it easy to purchase things, but they also made it easier to return things. Same with Nordstrom, same with Costco. Very liberal, very easy return policies. Those companies build trust with people, and therefore those companies are successful. Number 3, what are the qualities I want most in an employee, and why? Well, I wrote up a list of 12 attributes that I like to have as a team player in my business. Our company cleans and repairs swimming pools. And so our team playbook, the 12 attributes are, I'll read all 12 off and then I'll explain each one of them. Number 1 is to love. Number 2, growth. Number 3, excellence. Number 4, humble. Number 5, hunger. Number 6, smart. Number 7, extreme ownership. Number 8, spark speed. Number 9, courage. Number 10, being reliable. Number 11, resourceful. Number 12, persistent and consistent. Persistent consistency. Number 1, love. Do you, as an employee, do you love what you do? Are you in a job that you're working the job because you love the mission and the purpose and the idea behind the business that you're in? The goal would be, as an employer, you want to hire patriots. Patriots fight because they believe in the cause of the mission of the business. If you're a mercenary, that means you are fighting to get paid money. And if you are just fighting or working to make money, you're not really going to want to stay at that job. You're not going to love that job. It's probably not going to be very fulfilling to you. But you want to work for a mission, not a paycheck. So look for jobs and look for companies, or start a business and start a company that you're running, and make sure that your mission and the cause of why do you do what you do is very clear to the team members, and so that the team members buy into that vision and follow through on that vision. Number 2, growth. Every employee, I want them to think, I can become better every day. I want to grow personally. Growth does not happen automatically. It has to be intentional. A growth mindset means that you put yourself in place of being uncomfortable, and by being uncomfortable, it causes you to grow. You have to feel a little pain. You have to feel a little stress, a little pressure in order for you to grow. And you want to have I can learn anything mindset. You can grow yourself like a muscle can grow by exercising. So as you exercise, you're going to grow as a person. You have to experience some pain and get out of your comfort zone in order to grow. So number 2 would be growth. Number 3, excellence. Work is art. And so what you do, you want your employees to feel that what they're doing is they're creating art every day. One of the great statements at Disney, at Walt Disney, the actual amusement parks, they don't have employee parking. They have cast member parking. And when they have employees come to work, whether they're working in the fast food services inside the theme park, or they're actually one of the talented actors that are walking around in different suits and all that, they come to work because their work is art. They're actually acting and they're developing their skills while they work. I want my employees to leave an impact, to be the best at what they do whatever they do it to the best of their ability. They strive to be the top 10% in the industry. So it's excellence that we're striving for. Try to be at the top 10% in whatever you do. Number 4 is to be humble. As I mentioned before, ego is the enemy. Admit when you are wrong. Number 5, smart. Number 6. No, number 5 is hunger. Are you hungry? Are you hungry to work? Are you hungry to learn? Are you hungry in this position? What is your drive? Do you have a desire? I want my employees to have a drive to learn, a desire to learn, to be relentless in what they do, to do a good job. And they're thinking of the customer or the client while they're working for me, not just looking at things themselves. That they're relentless. The fire that's inside, that they want more. So I want employees to be hungry for the business and hungry what we're doing. And that's important. Number 6 is to be smart, which means to be great with people, have great people skills. It's called having strong emotional intelligence. We only hire friendly people. That's what I'm looking for. I can always train people to do swimming pools, to clean swimming pools, to show them how to do it or how to repair them. But you can't train people to be friendly. They either are friendly or they're not friendly. And so there's a EQ, which is emotional quotient, versus IQ, which is your intelligence quotient. Your EQ is important. You want to know how to relate to people and connect with people. And intelligence is important too, but you want to have both. EQ, which is emotional quotient, and then IQ, which is your intelligence quotient. People are creatures of emotion. So we need to be able to emotionally connect with our clients and with the people that we work with. We need to be sensitive to our clients' emotions. And so when we're out communicating directly with our clients, we need to understand that they're emotional, and so are we, but we need to be good with people, smart with people, and have great people skills. Number 7, extreme ownership. This is a hard one for a lot of people, including myself. I am responsible 100% of every outcome in my life. If my business isn't working, it's my fault. If I'm overweight, it's my fault. If I'm not smart, if I don't know all the information I need to know, it's my fault. If I haven't connected to the right people, it's my fault. If I haven't communicated clearly, it's my fault. Extreme ownership is a very mature and very important trait to have as a leader. And when you're leading your team, you also want to make sure your team takes full responsibility for the things that they're responsible for and not blame other people. The worst thing an employer can have is an employee when an employee blows it or makes a mistake, the employee blames it on somebody else, either blames it on another coworker or the environment or the weather or something that happened. A very mature thing to do is to just own it and say, it's my fault, I'll fix it. And that's extreme ownership. Number 8, spark speed. The reason we call it spark speed is because there's a billionaire out there, his name is Mark Sparks, and he makes stuff happen quickly. When something gets put on his plate, he doesn't put it on, well, I'll do it later kind of attitude. He says, I'm going to get it done. I get it done now. So anything that's important, you get it done. You just make it happen. If someone gives you an assignment, you do it right. You make steps to make it happen right away. Get it done. And then it's out of your mind, off your to-do list, and you're moving on. You do it now, and you're going to get it out. You're going to make stuff happen. And it's great to have lots of knowledge and information, but if you don't act on the knowledge and information you have, it's useless. You can go to school your whole life and get lots of information, but if you don't act on the information that you're getting, and if you don't use it and apply it to real life, then all that knowledge is wasted. The most important thing, it'd be better to take one principle and act on that one principle than to learn 12 principles and do nothing. It's better to acting and making stuff happen right away. Courage. Being willing to take a risk. That's number 9. Being courageous in what you do. Don't be afraid. Don't let fear control you. Overcome your fears by facing them and fighting through. Don't be a cow that goes out into the field and grazes and eats grass and just kind of hangs around and does nothing. Be a rhinoceros that plows through shrubs and trees and bushes and makes stuff happen. Be courageous. Don't be passive. Be proactive and don't wait for something to happen. Make something happen. That's being courageous. Being reliable is number 10. Being reliable is a trait that is extremely important for an employee. If your boss tells you asks you, will you do this? And you say, yes, I'll do it. Then the boss should think, well, it's as good as done. And that might even be a good phrase to say to someone. If someone says, hey, will you do this? You can say, it's as good as done. In other words, I'm going to make it happen. I'm reliable. If I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. That's the kind of employee you want, and that's the kind of leader you want to be. If you say you're going to do something, do it. Follow through on it. Be an exception, because a lot of people do not follow through on what they say they're going to do. Sometimes they call it lip service. They just tell people what they want to hear. You tell them what they want to hear, but then they end up not acting on it. It's important to be reliable. And 2 more. Number 11 is resourceful. Figure stuff out. If something's handed to you, try to figure it out. Don't try. Feel free to ask people questions and get help. That's fine. But don't get stuck by thinking, well, I can't do this, or I don't know how to do it. And so you end up doing nothing. But figure it out. Get her done. Things are constantly changing every single day. And so you have to be resourceful. What worked yesterday may not work today. There's a great book out there called Who Moved My Cheese? And it talks about how you go through this maze. These mice would go through a maze and they'd find their cheese every time they go through the maze. Every single time they go through the maze the same way, and they keep finding the cheese, and they have their food and they enjoy it. But one day the cheese wasn't there. They get up, they go through the maze, and they get to that place, and the cheese wasn't there. So then some of the mice went through the maze in different ways, and they found cheese other places. But some other mice kept going back to the same place, trying to get the same results when the cheese has moved. That's the way life is. That's the way business is. The business is changing. The people that used to not use emails or texting or videos or social media, all that kind of stuff, this world is changing, and we need to change with it. So if you want to be a great employee, be resourceful, be willing to change. Don't get stuck in your ways. Don't get stuck in your ways. Be available to move. Make necessary adjustments and changes as things go on. And the last one, number 12, persistent consistency. The tortoise always wins the race. Be steady, be consistent, and persistent. If you're working on something, if you're struggling with something, just keep pressing on, keep plugging away. There's a great statement out there. What's the fastest way or the best way to eat an elephant? It is to eat an elephant one bite at a time. So you just end up taking a big project and breaking it down to small little steps, and just do one step at a time, and just keep plugging away every day, little by little, until it gets all done. So that's the persistent, consistent. So those are the 12 attributes I'm looking for in employees. And why? Question number 4 that Garret asked me, in what areas would I like to improve on my leadership? Well, for me, in 2020, I'd like to make clear written systems and processes for my employees to follow. I've been working on that. I've done that, but I want to make it even more clear and easier to understand. So then once I have the systems and processes written down and put into an easy to understand format, then I want to make sure that I go over those with my employees, make sure they fully understand them. And then after they've had time to work through those processes and services, I need to check on them and inspect what I expect. So that's what I need to do, is inspect what I expect. But first, I need to make it clear what I expect, and then I need to follow through and follow up and make sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. Number 5, is leadership something that comes naturally to me? No, is the answer. No one is born a leader. I'm fully convinced every leader has to choose to become a leader and then work at it. Leadership is influence, no more and no less. Anyone can choose to influence one person or a group of people. They just have to decide to do it and then work at it. So you will make mistakes along the way, but a good leader will learn from their mistakes and get better the next time. So no one's born a leader. When babies come out at the hospitals, the doctors don't hold up the baby by their feet and say, "Oh my gosh, we have a leader here. We have a leader here." No, everyone is born the same, a little baby, and no one's a leader until, as they grow, they have to choose to be a leader. They can decide for themselves if they want to be a leader. So, number 6, last question. As a leader, what does equality look like to me? This is my take on it. All of us were born with nothing. And when we die, we're going to leave with nothing. So we don't all come in with any wealth or any intellect or knowledge or whatever. I mean, there are some genetic things that some of us have that are benefit us or not. But overall, everyone comes in with nothing, and when they die, they're going to leave with nothing. So everyone has the same amount of opportunity to grow. People just have to decide how much they are willing to grow. You will reap what you sow in life. So if you sow good seeds, then you're going to reap a good harvest. And so when you get up in the morning and say to yourself, is it fair? Is it that person might have this family that I wish I had, or this kind of physical genetic makeup that I wish I had? Or you look around and you try to say, well, I wish I had all these other advantages. You know what? Everyone has the same amount of time, roughly 80, maybe 90, if you're lucky, 100 years on this planet. And the same amount of time everyone has. Some people end up becoming first generation millionaires and billionaires because of the decisions that they've made. Some people end up having wonderful marriages from the decisions that they make. Some people have extreme health and fitness by the decisions that they make. It really comes down to recognizing that whatever you have in life, you can change. So if you're unhappy with the results of your life or where you're at, then you can make choices and exchange bad habits for good habits and start seeing a change happen in your life, because you will reap what you sow. If you sow good seed, you're going to reap. But on the bad side is, if you make bad decisions, you're hanging around the wrong people, making the wrong decisions, all that stuff's going to catch up with you, and you're going to start reaping all the negative, unhealthy, horrible things that go along with making bad decisions. But if you want to change your life, first of all, change the people you hang around with. Change the way you think, and feed on the things that you want to feed on in order to grow yourself and become a better person, because personal growth doesn't happen automatically. Just because you get older doesn't make you wiser. There's a lot of older people that still act like they're little kids. And there's young people that are full of wisdom and knowledge and strength because they make good choices, wise choices. They hang around the right people. They fill their mind with the right kind of content by reading the right type of books, watching the right type of YouTube videos, and doing the kinds of things that successful people do. So leadership is something that you have to work at if you want to be a leader. And the great thing is, if you don't feel like you're a leader, you can decide, hey, I want to be a leader, and start making the right kind of choices and decisions, and you'll become a leader. and it just takes time. But you have to be intentional about it. Garrett, thanks for all those great 6 questions. Hopefully what I said has helped you out. Maybe this video's gone on a little longer than expected, but I just want to make sure I gave you some good content to use for your report. Have a great day, Garrett. Appreciate you reaching out and asking me for some advice from Rick. Have a great day. Bye-bye.